And how empowering is it to be able to get to a point where you can say no to a client because they're not in alignment with how you want to show up? When you can say no within your business, it's so empowering. It allows you space and energy to, one, say yes to the clients and the other vendors and the people that you want to work with that are in alignment, and two, show up a little more and differently with the clients that you already have, because you're like, I want to work with you. And that's huge.
Hi, and welcome to Season 8 of the 15-ish Minute Coffee Chat with Anna Larson and Selena Conmack. Together with their rotating panel of expert guests, these real-life boss babes share lessons learned and best practices you can use to level up your business. Anna is the owner of Nomadabout and is known for blending killer copy with proven marketing methods to create exciting business communications. Selena owns Howley Socially Inspired, and from layout to launch, her sleek website design and trending social media strategies provide a memorable customer experience with a taste of that famous Aloha spirit. Now it's time to laugh and be inspired, so grab a cup of coffee and enjoy the show.
Aloha, guys. Welcome to the 15-ish Minute Coffee Chat, live stream and podcast with Anna and Selena. 8 seasons of best practices and advice for entrepreneurs and small business owners. Does your mindset create favorable or unfavorable growth in your business? Today's guest, Pumehana Palmer, growth and mindset coach, shares how continually evolving yourself and your way of thinking and perceiving what you know is a benefit to your business. Your authenticity and value sharing as a business owner will build brand loyalty and personal self-worth. So let's get to talking about your personal and business growth trajectory on today's 15-ish Minute Coffee Chat. Whew, that's a mouthful.
I know it is a mouthful, but it's such an important mouthful, right?
It is. First of all, can we talk about it? Like, we made it to the end of season 8. Woo!
I know, it's pretty impressive. So we have 80 episodes completed, which is amazing. That means the end of season 8, which means they're going to take a break and come back in June. But we'll talk about that more at the end, right?
Right. No, I'm excited for today's show. Yes, I personally am invested in this person, our guest today, because we have a little bit of a history. We worked together, previously. So I'm just excited. I kind of caught like part of, I caught a post and it just re-linked this, like, I need to reconnect with her. I mean, we all watch each other on social media and we see where we've been. And like I said, we worked together, which is so crazy when I say this now, Pume, who is in the backstage. I mean, like over 7-8 years ago. Like, that's a long time. That is a long time.
We were kind of talking about it before you jumped on in the back room. Pumehana and I were just about how amazing it is to see the people that you've known from your past and where they've taken their lives. Yeah. And I kind of feel like that's kind of almost even the topic for today, right? Like, it's a little bit about like mindset and that growth and figuring out what you're good at, your strengths and what you love, and then watching them achieve those things. So it's going to be a good show.
Totally. Okay, Anna, real fast, throw that call to action question that we love to ask people, because we want them to throw that into the comments.
We do. So listen, if you are listening right now, can you tell us about your current mindset within as a business owner or entrepreneur? Does your current mindset create favorable or unfavorable growth? And this is totally subjective, right? This is your thoughts on the subject, not our thoughts. There's no right or wrong answer. So toss it in the comments for us. We'd love to kind of hear what you have to say about where you think you currently are at as a business owner.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about Pume. So we can get rolling into it. Go ahead, Anna.
All right. So now Pumehana Palmer was born and bred on the island of Oahu, Hawaii. She's the mommy of 2 spectacular, tenacious little girls, the daughter of a badass single mom, and the wife of a forward-thinking entrepreneur. So for most of her life, her identity and self-worth were wrapped up in other people's opinions and satisfying their expectations. Now today, through mindset and growth coaching, Pumehana uses her life lessons to help clients create massive transformations for themselves. They learn that everything in our reality is created twice, first in your mind and then in the physical form. So by updating the lens through which they view life, so follow their results. Now, Pumehana is on a mission to plant seeds of growth and transformation in the minds of extraordinary moms and ladypreneurs.
Right? Who's excited for today's combo.
I know.
It's time to bring her up.
I'm going to bring her on right now. Woo! Hi, welcome.
Good morning.
Really good morning, you guys. Pume, tell everybody what time it is.
It's 5:17 in the morning in the islands.
So she wanted, I just want to say this, she wanted to come on this early. She's an early riser. So it's not like we forced our guests to show up at 5 a.m.
You guys are terrible. No.
Welcome to the show. I appreciate you ending our season 8. I think it's going to be a great episode with you today.
I am so looking forward to this. I'm so honored that you guys chose me and wanted me to come on and share my mana'o, share my knowledge and my heart. So thank you so much for the platform.
Yay.
No, absolutely. Okay, so before we get started with all of the questions, we like to take our
coffee cup selfie. Look, I brought my Hawaii wine in your honor today.
Yeah, this is for Pume today. This is my lipstick also.
I was like, it's somewhere around there.
I have mine on my side too.
On 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Now we can start the show officially.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sips, right? Just like if you say come by and you don't sip, you're like,
yeah, you have to take a little sip just to kind of finish off the moment, right?
All right. Okay, I'm going to move Pume. All right, Pume, it's time. We're going to start this.
Yeah. So we've got some fabulous conversation to have with Pumehana Palmer. Right. I want to say your full name because it's just so, what do they call it? Alliteration, right? It's just that like great smooth flow of front and first and last. But okay, anyway. So we loved the topic that you have because as business owners, that whole idea of growing personally and professionally is really important. And especially as an entrepreneur, because you're doing it all by yourself, or as a small business owner where you're doing with very, very few other people, right? So it's something that's hard for me as an entrepreneur and sole proprietor to be like, oh yeah, I recognize that this growth is taking place. So anyway, we're super excited to have you on. So our first question for you today is, how can growth and transformation affect us as a business owner?
And I love that question so much. Immediately what comes to mind for me is, what is the main goal of a business owner? And it's to turn a profit. It's not just to make money. It's for some people, not everybody wants to scale to the epic proportions that other people want, right? It's simply to turn a profit. So in order for you to hit numbers that you haven't hit before, you need to think a different way. You need to look at your clients, at their problems. You need to change perspectives. Right. And we're not saying that, you have to absolutely like completely overhaul your strategy, but even subtle different tweaks. So growth and transformation play a part in that, not to get stuck in this is how we've always done it. Right. So that's what I love, that growth is just tiny little changes, and transformation is tiny little changes over and over and over again. So.
Well, that's really interesting. So one of the things I went, when you said we don't want to get stuck in doing it the way we've always done it. So I am a self-admitting person that loves to just do it the way I've always done it. Okay. And Selena can attest to this because Selena loves new tech. And I'm like, oh, not another app. Selena, no. I have to learn something new again.
Yeah.
So,
my husband's actually just like you. Like, it's really funny. Sorry, not to step on you or anything like that, but my husband's partner, business partner, also came from where Selena and I came from and how we knew each other. It's really fun to see the different dynamics and dualities within business partnerships. It is very much like a marriage, right? That there's the one that's like, ooh, like shiny object syndrome. And then there's the other one that's like, bring it back in. but it's so funny how they complement each other, right?
Mhm.
And it's so funny how there's that level of discernment that needs to happen, but the relationship that you guys have has slowly and in very small ways, like, grown and transformed who you are
Yeah.
and how you guys run your business.
Yeah. Gosh, that is so true. I have to say, like, Anna and I, we do joke, like, Anna's like, and this is not true, but this is an example, like, oh, AOL chat room, that's where Anna is, right? Like, hi, Cornita. And I'm like, let's go to Facebook.
I'm not that old school. I have graduated from MySpace to Facebook.
Finally get let go of her landline, guys. We are moving her forward. But no, I think, having said that, right? I mean, it wasn't even what we were gonna talk about, but yeah, Anna and I, having worked together, has actually helped us grow our individual businesses in different ways just by being around each other. So I love that you actually brought that up, and how, because right, sometimes business partners also have other businesses. So I think,
Well,
it
and it
yeah,
makes me stop and think too, though, that as a sole proprietor or a small business owner, if you don't have a partner, you still have to be able to implement both of those sides in order to make that transformation, right? Because if you are stuck in that doing it the same way you've always done it mode, there is no growth.
right.
And you were saying that transformation is little tiny growth spurts happening over a long period of time. So you have to learn how to incorporate those two things in whatever way. So if it's not your partnership, then maybe it's a course or education or something like that, right? Like that's where that growth and transformation then would come from for a sole proprietor business owner.
And to that point, I think even a little deeper than that, there's a level of curiosity that needs to be there. There's humility and curiosity that needs to be there, that you need to be able to show up and just be like, what's something different, that I could do. And that's not to say that it's not to say that everything that you have done up until this point is bad or wrong. It's just that your way of thinking has gotten you this far. And if you want to go further, then hey, let's try something else. Like, could be fun, It doesn't make any commentary on what you have done thus far. So
And
I absolutely,
Yeah.
Can I just ask, is there an unspoken then like idea that it's okay to try things and have them not work out? Because
Oh
that's
my-
part of that growth process, right? Because failure is scary for a sole proprietor, right? If it costs money and then you fail at it, oh crap, I just wasted all of this time and money and
Mhm.
effort and energy.
Did you though?
Yeah.
Did you waste all this time?
High
Or
that.
did you just learn what not to do, right? And let me backtrack just a little bit with the way that you view failure, the way that you view your mistakes. I'm going to go a little deep, but this has to do with your upbringing. This has to do with the way that you made mistakes in the past, and how was that perceived, right? When you were a kid, or even in school, or even in high school, you made a mistake. What happened afterwards?
Yeah.
Did you have someone come down to your level and say, it's okay, it's
Right.
okay? Or did you get down on yourself? Or did someone get down on you and say, like, no, mistakes are not okay, and the straight full transparency, like, disclaimer, I'm not a therapist.
Right.
I've gone to therapy for a very long time. I've had coaches and I've had other people who were trained and capable to help me through this transformation and help me be able to look at my life in this perspective, and to understand that you are the sum of all of your experiences. So to be able to objectively look at how you make mistakes and what that means and what narrative you put on that, right?
Yeah.
So somebody, a mentor, had told me about this, and it's like, money is money, right? It's important. It's what we need. And especially as business owners, a lot of us are like, haha, what's my bottom line?
Mhm.
Right. But at the same time, you can always make more. And especially us as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we create our business. We don't go to work, not ask for a handout, but like we don't go to work and we don't wait for somebody to tell us what our value is. We create that on our own.
Mhm.
And with that, failure. We tried something and it didn't work. Okay, let's try something again. Let's do
That
something different.
is so gold, Pume. Like, I mean, because right when you say it, it's like you do it because it's an investment in your business. And like you said, I think it's just the way you reframed it. Like the failing of utilizing this new thing doesn't mean you failed. It just means you've learned something about the business that you don't want to use. Or I just love that you said it like that. Like,
Yeah, it was a really good mindset swap, right? And that, but did you? I was like,
yeah.
you totally got me.
Ninja.
Yeah.
Mindset ninja.
I know, it's so good. I had to add it to a quote kicker across the bottom, right?
No.
But the idea that, so I loved that because there's so many different areas when you are a sole proprietor or a small business owner, you kind of wear all the hats of all the different things. There's so many different facets that you're in charge of, right? Like that you have to be running and you have to be good at it or you're going to hit those failure points. And too many of those, even with a mindset change, can be super frustrating. And ultimately profitability will not be as great as if you are making better choices that are successful. So this kind of leads us to our second question, which is, when you are that business owner with all those different areas, like what areas of change is going to be most beneficial in that trickle down to all those different parts of our business for us as a business owner?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
For that, I remember when I first read that, I was like, okay. And after sitting with it for a little bit and then also asking for clarification, what came to mind is really how you choose to see yourself and how you choose to see your world. So the perspective, shifts, and the ability to look at things from different angles. It'll trickle down because what you put energy towards is, of course, what you attract. In that sense, let me clarify with that. Like, what you choose to see in the world is what you will bring towards yourself. And what comes to mind even more is the people that you surround yourself with. So your support system, because as much as we do try to do this all on our own, we cannot.
Yeah.
So the mindset that you have will attract the people that you have into your business, your other vendors, your team, your clients, right? So when you are thinking about your business in a different way, when you are showing up in your business intentionally and in a certain way, then you will attract the people who want to help you and who surround you in that same way. So to your point of when it gets hard, because boy, does it get hard, you need the people to be like, no. You know that mindset, and you know that narrative isn't taking you to a productive place.
Yeah.
Now, when you were talking about, like when you guys were talking earlier, what came to mind was compartmentalization, right? And especially as women, like we are emotional beings in the best way and sometimes in the worst way, right? And it allows us to come into our businesses from a holistic standpoint. right? We love and we care and we cherish. But there are times in which you need to like, I'm feeling some type of way. I'm going to have to put that on the side and focus on my clients, focus on the project, focus on, our due dates.
Yeah.
And that's where you build your team. That's where the trickle down happens. And you'll see the transformation in different areas of your life. It's incredible, not just in your business.
I love how you framed that. So it's not so much about focusing on one specific part of your business or another. It's not like, ooh, focus on the marketing and make your changes there, or focus on being the best financial self DIY CPA you possibly can. It's about that big picture, 20,000 feet view of what you're trying to accomplish, the people you're surrounding yourself with, and your intention as you're acting as a business owner. I mean, that right there is, I think, a mindset switch, right? And
Can I just jump in real quick?
Yeah.
There's a saying in our industry, where focus goes, energy flows.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's such a true statement, right? Because obviously that's that path that you're deciding to walk down on. And I hope you all, when you do that, you're open to receiving, right? What is wanting to kind of come into that. You know what? I've been reflecting on this question myself, Kumi, and I loved what you had said about just kind of like, the when you kind of figure out the mindset of what you want to change, it will trickle down to the clients that you take on, the vendors that you work with, or contractors who you like outsource and work with. I mean, all of that does is affected, and I think it's important to know what the goal is in your business, right? And then incorporating that with your growth and your this and your that.
And how empowering is it to be able to get to a point where you can say no to a client because they're not in alignment with how you want to show up. That your time, that your energy is worth so much more than just the money that they're bringing, or just being able to, I don't want to say assert boundaries, because it's not a forceful thing. When you can say no within your business with warmth and caring and compassion for yourself, as well as that person, or as well as that other business or vendor, it's so empowering. And it allows you it allows you space and energy to, one, say yes to the clients and the other vendors and the people that you want to work with that are in alignment, and two, show up a little more and differently with the clients that you already have, because you're like, I want to work with you.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Oh my gosh. You just made me think of, so the mutual restaurant that Pumi and I worked at, there was actually a really big client that we had, and they had emailed me a huge request that they wanted for one of their very, very big groups they're bringing in. And we were like, this is kind of ridiculous, but how do you tell the very big client no, right? We sat down, we talked about it. And it's funny how when you talk to different people on the team, like how they would say it, and you're like, wrong, that's very negative, wrong, goes down as a business, right? But I remember structuring the email that we sent to them saying no, and we explained why. And I was still sweating it, but we put a lot of effort, like you said, for me, where you say it with kindness and warmth of why it's a no. And that client came back, and they became even more raving fans. They said they had appreciated our honesty, and that what it had come down to was the level of service that his clients were going to get if we went with his want. And so don't be scared to say no, like Pumi said, right? And I love that you said that. I hadn't thought about that in very many years.
Well, I think it's also the empowerment, right, of knowing what you want for your business, and as small business owners, entrepreneurs, we don't want to waste time on there's a reason why we are doing what we're doing and not working for a large corporation, or, a lot of it has to do sometimes with being able to pick and choose the type of jobs that we want. I know as a writer, there are things that I don't want to write anymore that I had to write in the past, right? Like it drains my energy as opposed to filling that energy bucket up for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but there was a point when I first started my business where had that job come to me, I probably would have taken it because of the profitability factor without being able to say no to it, because I would be afraid of that client won't come back, right? Or that client will, oh, she's saying no, she must not need our business. That mindset change that you're talking about is required in order to say no to a business owner.
And that comes with experience, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need to say yes to things in order to realize and figure out what you want to say no to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I love that.
Yeah.
That right there is a huge mindset shift, right? And and I think it would take a lot of growth and transformation for a business owner to get to that point. I know it does, actually, right? Because there's still clients that I haven't said no to that I probably should say no to. If you're listening, you might be one of them.
Listen, you're not that client. Don't you worry.
Right. You should put that disclaimer on the
Anna's client is listening. This was not about you. No,
not about you.
No, one of my clients too, when I was struggling with something last year, him and I, we had a big talk, and when I said, I don't know what to do, and he's like, look, when you say yes to this, you're saying no to something else that could be important. And Anna's heard me say this because I've talked about this all the time. And I thought that was so powerful when he said that. Like, he's like, are you saying yes to the right thing? And you're saying no to the wrong thing, and switch that energy around. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This leads us directly into our last question, which is kind of getting down to the details. So let me pull this up really quick. So what is a daily growth or mindset practice that a business owner can do? Let's get to the tangible things. Like, how do we apply this as a business owner to what we're doing every day?
I think honestly, it comes down to the curiosity and humility and slowing down. A lot of us as business owners, oh my gosh. Well, and this is for Selena, that's like, oh, squirrel, new tech.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
There's a time and a place for that. But at the same time, there's a time and a place to slow down. And even if it is taking a breath, right before you feel some type of way, or you get really, really excited, having that space for curiosity and humility and taking a breath, it makes a huge difference. Because then you create space for that intentionality, right? And you're allowing yourself to make decisions from a grounded place rather than a place of expectation. Oh my gosh, this client asked me this. I need to answer them now. Or they're going to leave me.
Wow.
Or this or that. Take a breath. Take a pause. Oh my goodness. There's so many things. So many things. So many things. I'm getting all these downloads. Say that again.
I'm a qualifier, right? So what I hear you saying is add into your calendar a certain amount of time each day to sit back and reflect on where you're at, what's coming, and what decisions you have to make, kind of thing, right? Like maybe like a meditation time frame, or 15 minutes before during your lunchtime, you're not watching TV, you're not on the phone with a client as you wolf down your salad, whatever that is. That you're
hashtag working lunches, right?
Exactly. But that you're taking, you're intentionally making space for yourself to have that, be able to think through those thoughts, right? Is kind of
or
what you're
just
saying.
To think about nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Exactly.
Right. That's why it's called practice, right?
Exactly.
Practice.
So the times that, like you say, you wolf down your lunches, right? I do the exact same thing. But what if just today you ate your lunch and you enjoyed your lunch and you
What?
didn't think about anything else and you didn't think about work, what if? Just for today.
How do
Just
you
for
how do
today.
you put that into practice though? So you sit down with your lunch and you can't really control where your mind is going. So is there like a you just have to say to yourself, no, I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to think about the color I'm going to put on my toes when I go get my nails done later this weekend. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you have an intentional other list of things you're thinking about to
Mm-mm.
be able to separate yourself?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's focusing on the right here, right now.
Mm.
I heard a podcast once years ago, and you hear, be present, be present. And there's a couple of different ways that you can look at it. There's one where it's, well, that you can remember it. My therapist actually has a little picture on her wall that says, be here now.
Mm.
Be here now.
So it's just
And then,
like thinking about what you're doing in that moment. Like
not even just thinking, just doing. Just
Yeah.
you're eating
You're
your
almost
lunch.
it,
I'm
Anna.
just gonna eat my lunch.
this is clearly not something I am good at.
This is called a practice, and that's why it's a practice.
Yeah.
But there's another question that I heard, or there are two questions. Where am I?
Mhm.
Right here. What time is it? Right now.
Mhm.
Where am I? Right here. What time is it? Right now.
Mm.
And you have the time. You have the time to be present, even if it is just eat your lunch. Just eat your lunch.
Yeah.
And and it's not even when you get good at that, because there is no getting good at it and next step and moving on or moving up the ladder or anything like that. It'll be exactly like you said, the trickle down.
Mm.
Because when you can get present, when you can just eat your lunch, then you can get present and answer that email and not think 17,000 steps ahead. If I send this email, what's going to happen? Right? Right here, right now. You're just writing an email.
I'm putting that on a t-shirt, Pume.
I know. I seriously though, like that makes so much sense, right? I mean, I keep asking for this clarification because in my head, I know that I always feel like I need to be thinking about what's next because I'm a planner. That's in my nature, right? To want to be able to organize and get it planned out and know what's happening so that there's no surprises and then I can be done with my day when I'm done with it. Well, so I feel this transformation coming here where I'm going to have to start practicing the where am I? What time is it? Kind of message to myself. So I love that. Thank you. I feel like this was kind of for me today here.
Yes. Yay. I mean, can I say like when 2 weeks ago, my husband and I just in the middle of the day, I was like, I got too much, like I'm not creative. I'm not all. And we shut down the office and we went to lunch like in a town over and we made it a pretty place and we just enjoyed it. And I didn't look at my phone. And I remember calling Anna, I'm like, guess what I did? I left my work,
Like, what?
Yeah. And it was so nice, but it really reset me to be like you said, like some days I do feel like this like squirrel that's just like I can't not look at all these things that is happening. And the way that you said 17,000 steps ahead, that is exactly how my brain is constantly working.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to I don't know how to think of just one thing sometimes, And so, yeah, multitasking, equating being busy equals success has been overhyped and drilled in. Yes, totally agree.
I do as well. And I think that's the way we've looked at success, right? Yeah. Is if you're always constantly busy, you can't fail.
Yeah.
But the reality is that creates burnout, which then creates failure.
Yeah.
And on some level, not the failure is bad as we learned today necessarily. A new way to do business, right?
Yeah. I'm digging, that's how I live my life, right? I'm like, no, there was an opportunity from this, right? That we've learned.
Absolutely.
And,
right. And there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place to, yes, think 17,000 steps ahead. There's a
Right.
time to
Right.
organize and plan and compartmentalize and do all of the things, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a time to just slow the F down
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it'll be okay.
And
So
that's where I think we fail sometimes, right? That slowing down portion of it, unless you're practiced at it, unless it's part of what you plan for yourself. I don't think that most entrepreneurs are able to or do that on a day, maybe it's just me, maybe it's the people I surround myself with, but I don't recognize that as being a skill set for most entrepreneurs. I don't know.
I think it's just finding the balance, like you said, Pumi. And I think it is important to kind of just remember, because it is a lonely road as an entrepreneur, and you wear many hats in your business. And I think it is, and we've spoken to so many other people in the mental health area that have said, it is important in your business to schedule time to just be present, like you said. You know what I mean? And because you need that to reset, to revitalize all the re's, that you can say.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much for this great
know.
conversation. Should
Yeah.
we tell
Thank
people
you
where
guys
they
for
can
having me.
find
No,
you?
Anna, you know what's going to happen when you're feeling like negative. I'm going to be like, Pume. I'm just going to whisper her name to you. I'm going to make you a verb, Pumehana. Like that is.
I know. She is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on my board up here on my wall. So I'll walk in my office and we'll say,
Pume.
and I'll be like, oh, that's right.
I'm happy to inspire.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So look, you're going to want to continue finding out more about Pumehana. So we're going to kind of hand it off to her. She's going to tell you where you should be finding her, all the things. So go for it, Pume.
Awesome. Well, absolutely. All of the social handles, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, I am at Pumehana Palmer. So pretty easy. Have a little technical difficulties this morning, but usually you can find me at pumehanapalmer.com.
Yes.
And I am always just a DM away. So.
Awesome.
Seriously, it's so good. Okay, this is going to now lead us into our toolkits, which I'm really excited about. Okay, Pume has this awesome thing, and actually, I'll be honest, this is what actually prompted me that we reconnected. And it wasn't because I jumped on it. It was what she said about this newsletter prior to starting, where she had, do you remember, Pume? You were talking about I was trying to launch it in a stealthy way, but not a whatever way. Remember that? And she had the most realist conversation on social media that was you know what? I realized I just needed to just say it, right? Remember? Oh, okay. And it was her honesty about just I mean, there's that word hustle, but just you do have to kind of, you want to share the value that you want to give to people and trying to find the right way. And I was just on her social, her personal profile, and she's just talking about it. And I was just oh, I must. So, okay, Pume, tell everybody what this is, why they should be signing up for it.
For sure. So this is my Tuesday twofer newsletter. Shout out to my husband for the idea and the title. But I just wanted to create something small to drop into your inbox every day to just kind of break up all of the promotional emails and all of the other blogs and articles and whatnot, just to drop in a little hint of wisdom. So it's really quick and easy. It's 2 ideas from others. It's 2 coaching questions and 2 affirmations just to get you through your day or get you through the week. And I wanted to create something that was, one, sustainable, because I had ADHD, so I'm always squirrel. And I wanted something that was super easy and super palatable and something that you guys could absorb and not feel bad hitting trash. So it's really, really easy, and it's a tiny little way to just read it, make you go, huh,
Mm-hmm.
and then move on with your day, move on with your week.
Yeah.
Or, and I'm just going to throw this out there because I signed up for her newsletter after Selena forwarded me one of them. This is when we were looking at having her on as a guest. And I loved it so much. I was like, I can totally create content from this because it is that mind thought provoke. I know that here I am, like taking it, not just being in the moment and using it for
No, that's so good. You're a content creator. That's what you do.
But it really is the kind of thing where if you just took a second and like really thought through the process of the questions she's asking or thought about the ideas from others and how that could affect you as a business owner, it really is what she's saying. Those small, palatable, 5-minute like moments that are going to help with that growth and transformation we've been talking about. I really feel like that is so. And I love that you say you don't have to feel bad about hitting trash, right? Because sometimes you do, right? Like, oh, should I get rid of this? I don't know. She's telling you, trash it. If you're done with it, say goodbye to it.
Right.
You'll get another one next week.
Yeah. So you just have to head to her website. Okay. And we're going to talk about this for just a second, right, Pumi? So Pumi and I were messaging this morning, and I think in every business, there's always going to be like a hiccup in places. And what happened to her is such a common thing for websites. It just, the renewal process was a day late. That's all. So she went back in, she renewed. So if you head to her website and it's not there yet, do not freak out. It is coming back. Right?
I promise.
Yeah. It's life. And I tell you what, and I said this to her, I'm like, I have a client that is a luxury pool guy. And before we did web maintenance, he was just like, dang it, I forgot. And his head would be down for a whole day, So anyway, so what I'm saying is do not think you're in the wrong place. There's just this coming back thing. And if not, you just send her a DM on Instagram or TikTok and say, yo, is it up yet? Because I really want to sign up. You need to sign up for a newsletter. Like this is not even the first time I've talked about her for Tuesday things. So. Okay. Sorry. I know we're there. Okay. Let me bring this back up. Okay. Anna.
Yes. So our tip jar today from Caitlin Eldridge, Eldridge CPA. If you're sending something to the IRS, send it certified return receipt. Okay. Listen, you don't mess around with the IRS. Just make sure that you have something saying you've mailed it out and they have to sign for it so that you can always say, you did get it. I have the receipt. I have proof of confirmation of receipt so that they can't say you didn't send it. Nobody wants the IRS on their tail. So that's just one of those safeguards. Thank you, Caitlin, for words of wisdom.
Yep. Thank you, Caitlin, for sure.
All right, ladies and gents. I just hate to say this, but this is our final show for season 8. That's 80 episodes. If you haven't been to our YouTube page, head over there and subscribe for us. It's just that one little click, and we would love it if you would do that. Same with the podcast. You can always download any of our episodes on a podcast platform of your choice. We will be returning in June with another 10 episodes of awesome for the 15-ish minute coffee chat with new conversations, new topics, new guests, all the hotness that's in the world right now for business owners and entrepreneurs.
Way to sell it, Anna.
Yeah. And as always, you can find Anna and Selena at annaandselena.com. We love to connect on LinkedIn. We also have our individual business on Facebook and Instagram. And Anna and Selena is coming soon to Facebook and Instagram as well. So just a heads up. Yeah. So you'll be able to follow us in all the different places. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Pumehana, thank you so much for words of wisdom and for sharing mindset and growth ideas. I don't know if that's not the right word, but I feel inspired today. And that's a great way to end a show. So
and a season. So yes.
Yes.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Yay. Thank you, Pumi.
Yes.
All right, guys. See you next month, next season. Bye.
Bye.